Hey everyone, my name is Raunak, back with another video, and in this video you are going to learn the Python web development using Flask framework. So Flask is a Python framework for developing web applications. So in my past I have already made a series of Flask which had somewhere around I think 10 or 11 tutorials. But why am I really making this one? So this is going to be a single video which will also cover some of the points that I've missed in my past. So the Flask is a really great framework, and learning it is going to make you good with the Python, because you can deploy your Python business logic onto the Flask and you can view it in the web pages or in the form of the website. So Flask is really good. So let's begin. So I am now completely teaching you Flask from the scratch, and the only thing I expect from you is a little bit of Python. That's it, nothing else. Okay. So right now I am here using the Sublime Text Editor. It is really good, and I will be using the command prompt. Actually, I was thinking of using something like VS Code or Atom, but it is fine. We will just stick with the Sublime in this tutorial. So right before we begin, so first of all, the thing that you are going to need is the Flask. So the command for that is pip install Flask. So in order to install that, you are definitely going to need Python in your system. Alright, so please install the Flask. Mine says the requirement already satisfied because I have already installed the package. Right after I do that, let us now get started with the coding. So the Flask, I have made a folder, and inside the one folder, so my folder is on my desktop, so it is Flask. Now make a new file and save that file. So app.py. So py is the most important extension. Py indicates it is a Python file, and app I am using the name because it is generally used. Okay, so app.py. Right after you do that, you need to import the Flask. So from Flask import Flask. Let me get you sorted with the font. Okay, so from Flask import Flask, and then make a variable. I'll just call it app because that is the name of my file. So app is equal to Flask, and inside the round braces put underscore underscore name underscore underscore. Right after that, we will hop on to the routing. Now the concept of routing I'm going to cover in this tutorial, but for now just say @app.route followed by this. So the slash indicates the route that our page is going to render. Then make a function. So I'll just say basic. You can put anything you want. Right after that, after the function, you have to return something. So we'll just say return hello world. Once you are done with this, you have to say if underscore underscore name underscore underscore is equal to enclosed in the inverted commas. I really forgot what it is called. Underscore underscore main underscore underscore followed by colon because it is a if condition, and then say app.run and just save this. So this is the most introductory level thing that you are going to experience with the Flask. This is the entry point. Okay, so once you have done with this code is going to get you sorted with the Flask application. So first of all, we import the Flask, then I assign it to a variable name app. Then I'm using the concept of routing, which I'm definitely going to cover right now. Then I have made just simply a function, and I'm returning hello world, and then I'm going to say if underscore underscore name underscore underscore is equal to main. So this is the entry point. You can consider it like the public static void main string arguments of your Java. Okay, and then you have to say app.run. That's it. Now let me just go into my location. Okay, so if I say dir, I am able to say app.py. So in order to run this, python space the name of the file. Okay, so python app.py. Now once it runs, it is going to deploy on the localhost colon 5000. So that is the address that we have to go to. So localhost colon 5000 is where you are going to see your Flask application deploying on your browser. So localhost colon 5000, and it says hello world. Get it? So yeah, this is good. This is the most basic way to deploy a Flask application. Flask is really good. Okay, now we will actually dig more deeper into the Flask. So I'll teach you how you can use the HTML pages, because if you view the source code of this thing, you are just going to say hello world, because that is what the server is printing, and the server is utilized by the Python. So you don't have really the HTML pages, and for the sake of the purpose, now you might be having a really good website. Okay, you will have some of the Bootstrap, and then you will decorate it using the CSS and JavaScript. So definitely you cannot return that each and every stuff inside this, isn't it? So the great way is that you can just use it using the HTML pages. So I'll teach you how you can render the HTML pages. Right before we hop on to that, the app.route concept that I was telling you. So the app.route is what? The app has the Flask. Okay, so it is going to utilize the Flask continuously. So whenever I say app.route and followed by slash, so slash indicates that localhost 5000 slash. So I can also change the route. Okay, and if I say route basic, it can be anything. It can be literally your name. It can be a name, but this is not going to run, because every time you will have to kill the application and you will have to rerun it again. Okay, so whenever you make the changes in your Python file, you will have to kill the stuff, and then only you will be able to operate. So that is kind of tedious. Okay, so in order to get that sorted, I have something known as nodemon. So if you have node installed inside your system, you can install the nodemon using the npm package. Okay, so that is one of the servers I use. So the command, if you have installed nodemon, though if you have npm, you can say npm install nodemon -g. So it is going to install that stuff globally for you. So I'll say nodemon -exec followed by python -version and then /app.py. So the nodemon is really good. It is the server that we use for deploying, or I'm sorry, not deploying, running the Node.js apps. But we can actually use the nodemon for running the Flask too, because this thing refreshes itself over and over again. Like just whenever you save the thing, you save your Flask code, it is going to run. Okay, so you don't have to continuously kill a program and hop onto it. So now it is running on my localhost, and now if I go over here and say /Raunak, it's going to show me hello world. Why? Because I have said here /Raunak. If I just say /r, it is going to give me on my /r, and it gives me. If you just enter the route incorrectly, so if you say /ra, I'll just say ra, it is going to say not found, because it utilizes this route. Okay, so far now you have learned the basic structure of the Flask. Now we will actually dive more deeper into the Flask. Well, now I have shown you the source code. Okay, so if I say, first of all, let me just run this. It says hello world, and if I view the source code, it is not going to show anything because the Flask server is running it. Now how we can include the HTML pages in it? So in order to do that, inside of Flask, where your app.py file is located, just make a new folder. So a new folder, name templates. So this templates folder is actually going to hold all of your new files. Now in my templates, I will make a new file. So save it, and I'll just say index.html. Okay, so that's my HTML file, and here I'll just say HTML. So Sublime actually gives you pretty concealed manner of coding the HTML. You don't have to type each and everything like HTML head and body. you can just say HTML and type enter and you will get the code. Right after you do that, how are you going to include this thing inside your main page? So first of all, let me just say, let me use h2 tag. Okay, so header 2, and I'll just say hello world. And inside, after that, you are going to change the return statement. So after that, you will have to call render template. Now this is very tedious, so instead of calling each and everything, I'll just say star. I usually do that. Then you can say return render underscore template followed by index.html. Okay, so now what I have done, so the templates folder has index.html, and this index.html I am rendering it. What I am really doing right now is I am returning the render template. So rendering is the concept where you pack all of the things together. So if you have done the video editing, you might have came across this concept rendering. You have all the elements dispersed and then you just render it. So I'm rendering the template, the index.html that I have in my templates, which says hello world. Okay, and I'm just going to render the template. I'm returning the render template in this route. Okay, slash. Let us actually run this, and it says hello world. Now this is a h2 tag, as you can see. Okay, so far now you have learned how to render a template. Okay, now let us actually make an application. Okay, so let me show you a good way of how you can use the application. So application is really good. If you use the application in the sense is going to make you teach all of the things that I'm going to teach you. So once you have written the render template, so I'm now rendering a template. Now I want some of the actions performed on it. So a good way is to use the forms. But right before we go much deeper into the forms or and of this stuff, I'll just teach you the Bootstrap. So Bootstrap actually makes pretty much all of these things look really nice. Okay, so let us now go to the Bootstrap, and this is one of the greatest thing you have in the market right now. You know, to get on to the decorative stuff of the HTML. So let's get started. So I'll be using the CDNs. Okay, so these are the CSS. Alright, so I'll just take this stuff and paste it inside my index.html right after the head. And I'll also use the JavaScript. So I'll just take all of this stuff. Right after you have that, okay, so you can also download the Bootstrap and place all of the files like the JS, CSS and fonts, but I am just using the CDNs. Okay, now let us go on to the examples. Examples is really good. You can just take the examples you have right now and make the changes and you will have it. Let us now take a simple example that is just going to display on the hello world. Jumbotron seems good. And now if I go on to the source code of this, so once you open one particular example, you can just type Control U inside your browser and then you will be able to get into it. So now I'll just take some of the things that I'm going to need. So each and every code is going to be uploaded on my GitHub repository. You can find the link down in the description box. You can download the stuff. So it just is div class Jumbotron. So we'll just code this thing, okay, just to display that. And now I'll just say div, and inside div I'll say class Jumbotron. And inside that, let us place the free tag and hello world. We have it. And now let's check this. Yeah, we have it. This looks way better. I'll just change this to H2. So this is just the simple HTML. Alright. Looks good. Now that you have this, now we will just hop onto the forms. Okay. So forms is a great way to learn the Flask. Let us get started. So likewise, we took the example. We will now take the form. So we have a sign-in form over here. We can use this thing. So inside the form, I will have an input. So a great example is that whenever I'm clicking onto my system, I'll have a form, and whenever I validate the form is going to return the name and say hello. So hello followed by the name. So let us actually do that. Okay. So I'll now edit this page. I'll just show you how this thing works. This seems actually complicated at first, but with practice you are going to get it. So now let us view the source code of this thing, and it is just a simple form. Okay. So whenever, like I said, it should display hello followed by the name, and all of this logic is going to be embedded with the help of the Flask. So in order to do that, I'm going to take the form. Yeah, we have it, and we are going to make the changes. So inside my index.html, I'll just get rid of this div tag, and I'll paste the form that I got from the Bootstrap. Now I'll get rid of the image tag, followed by all of this stuff. So these are the labels, and let's say enter your name. Okay. And yeah, just get rid of all of this stuff. I really don't want this. I just want the button and the input tag. I'll just also get rid of this. Yeah, I have the form. So the form is going to help me input all of the stuff. So now I'll just get rid of this too. I don't really need this. Okay. So type. The type of our thing is going to be the text. I'll just get rid of the ID, and placeholder is just fine. We'll just say enter name, and I also have the button, so the type is submit, and this is the Bootstrap method. Okay, the large button and primary one. So we'll just say submit. Alright, let us try to render this thing. We have the form. So I don't really have the CSS of this thing, but this is way better than the normal form that we see. So whenever we enter something and we click on the submit, this is supposed to give me something. Alright, so now let us get on this thing. So this is the basic form validation. Now here is the concept of the get and post. So what are the get and post methods? So the get method is used to get something out of the something. So we get from a URL. The post method is going to help you post something or the other. So whenever you click on the submit button, you are posting some of the values into a database or anything. Okay, so that is the post method. If you have done PHP, or you have came across PHP or languages like Node.js and everything, you might be familiar with the post method. So get and post. So here I'll say if request dot method is equal to post, but right before you do that, you will have to mention it over here. So you have to say comma, and methods is equal to, you have to say get and post. So I am getting and posting on the same route. So if the requested method, that is after submitting, if it is post, I have to perform some action. For now I'll just say return, and let's say hello. Okay, So once I click on this, it is supposed to give me hello. So now let us, but you have to assign an action to the form. So in order to do that, you have to say action followed by slash and method followed by post. So this action requires the slash. So what is slash? This thing. If I just say ABC over here, you will have to change the ABC over there too. So it is just slash followed by this slash. Okay, so now it is going to validate. Whenever I click on to the template, it is going to render the template from the index.html, and it is going to take this route which is assigned to this form, and it is going to perform the action. So whenever I submit, the submit is going to take something and return me hello. Now let us actually take this, and I can type anything over here and just say submit, and it says hello. Okay, so this is the typical way of validating a form. But now we want to do something else. So we want to take the value of the name that we get, the name that has been entered, and we have to say hello followed by that name. Alright. So here I'll say if requested method is equal to post, I'll just say name, which is the name of the variable that I have. Name is equal to request dot form. Inside that form, from the index.html, I am going to take the type text. So that is the type that I have, and I am going to say name is equal to name. So the name is the tag that you have inside the input label, which is also saying name. You can also say names over here, and I'll say names. Okay, so whenever I am posting, it is going to take the requested form that has the slash, which is this form, which follows the action of the slash, and which has the input type name is equal to names. It's going to take these names and it is going to store inside this variable. And now we want to return this. So now let us say return name. Makes sense. Okay, now let us just run this thing, and here I'll say my name, and it returns it. We have the name. So now whenever I am submitting, it is returning me my name. Now we want to actually improve this more. So we want something to happen where it is going to be followed onto a different web page. Okay, so let's say you have a sign up or sign up form inside your system, and whenever someone validates it, like authenticates it, whenever they authenticate it with their credentials, it is going to supposed to redirect to your new web page. So I will have to take the name and pass it onto the another template. So right now I am making a new template, and I'll just say names.html. It is the name of my file, and we have it. Now whenever the name has been fetched, it is supposed to return onto that page. So here I'll say render template. It is names.html. This is the name of my file. Okay, names.html. Now here let me post this stuff. This is the Bootstrap CDNs. Okay, we want the Bootstrap inside my names. We have it. Now here, how am I really going to pass the name? So this is inside the Python, and passing it into this template seems pretty much difficult. So this can be done using the Jinja formatting. So here I'll say n is equal to name. So the n is just the variable that I'm declaring. It has no significance, but it is going to take this name. Okay, it is going to pass it to the n, and inside my Bootstrap, inside my another template, I can just call this thing. So if I say h2, and now in order to pass that, you will have to use the n variable, because after rendering it is going to pass the n along with the Flask to this HTML. So you just cannot say n. It is two curly braces opening and closing, and inside that pass n. So whenever I click onto this form, it is supposed to redirect me onto this render template.names.html, which has the n variable that holds the name from my past requested form, and it is going to display it init form. Now let us actually run this thing. I'll type anything and it displays it. Okay. Now let me just develop this thing a little bit. Inside Jumbotron, I'll say h3 tag. So it is going to say hello followed by n. Let us run this. I'll just say C and it says hello C. If I go back and type my name, it says hello followed by that name. We have the system. Okay, so this is the most basic way of rendering two templates. But now nobody in your website is going to go back again and again by just clicking back. We want something much handier, so there can be a button. You click on the button and it redirects it to another page. In order to do that, we can make validation for this one too. So here I'll just say form and let me make a button, and I'll just take the classes from here and I'll just say go back. So this is supposed to redirect us to our head page. Okay. So in order to do that, first of all, make a new route. So app.route, and now you cannot enter slash over here because you already have a slash over here. So you are going to say name. So names is just the route I am declaring, followed by the methods is equal to the methods are get and post. And I'll say define. You cannot say basic because the basic is the function that we have already declared, and it actually redirects using these functions. So we can just say names, that is the name of my function, return render template. We are rendering names.html. We have it. So whenever I click onto this names, it is supposed to render the template and it is going to take this route. Now we can change inside the form over here. We have a simple form over here. First of all, let me just test this thing. There we have it. So here is a go back button. Now we want to validate that button. Well, how you can do that? So inside the names, inside my form, I am going to say action. So action is going to be names. Why? Because this route has names slash names. So it has names followed by method is equal to post. So whenever I post the names, it is going to follow this route. So here I will say if request.method is equal to post, I want to do something. So whenever I post, whenever I click on the submit, it is going to submit and it is going to return something or the other. So if request.method is equal to post, I will say return followed by redirect. Inside the redirect, you will have to say URL underscore for, and you will have to say basic. Now why you are going to say basic? Because it follows the name of the function that is inside the particular route. It doesn't go with the route. Okay, it follows the function inside the route. So whenever I say return redirect URL for basic, it is going to return to this template. It is going to render the index.html. You get it? So the workflow goes something like this. It is going to request the method whenever it is post. Whenever you enter something or the other inside the names, it is going to render me a template of the names. After that, inside the names, it has a form. So it has a button and it takes the slash names, which is a new route I have designed. And whenever I click on that, whenever the method is post over there, for the sake of this, it is going to redirect the URL for. It is going to redirect me to the basic. So the basic route has the render template index.html. You get it? Now let us test this thing. So localhost 5000, and now let me enter some name, and it says hello Raunak. And whenever I go back, it actually redirects me to the original page. So this is some of the most basic things that you can do with the Flask. So far now you have learned to render the templates and follow up with the Flask with redirecting the pages and the routes. along with the Bootstrap. So the one more thing that I'm going to cover is something known as static. So we actually want to display an image. Okay, so displaying images, playing videos, these things are pretty much good. Okay, and they can be done using the Flask. So in order to do that, we want to use the Flask, create a new folder which is called a static. So the static folder is going to have all of my images, okay? And we are going to view an image. So first of all, let me just download a random image from the internet and just take a random image from the internet. Now whenever I go onto my page, I want the random image to be displayed. That's what I want to do. So I'll just say save image as, and I'll just save it on my current location inside my static. So this is download, that is the name of the file, JPEG. I have it. Now using the IMG source tag you cannot do that, okay? You have the download.jpg. Well, how you can perform the operation? So whenever I just guess want to display it on my index.html, in order to do that I'll just say img, which is the tag we use, okay? And inside this you will have to say Jinja templating. So Jinja templating, so inside the image source you can say url underscore for, just like you have done earlier, and here you have to say static. You have to say static followed by file name, which is equal to, so it is inside the static folder, okay? So you can say download.jpg. Let us actually test this thing. I hope this works. Yeah, this works. It gives me the image, okay? It actually gives me the image. So whenever you have to access the images, you can use this thing. So url underscore for static, so access the static folder, followed by the file name is equal to download.jpg. Usually inside the normal HTML you might have seen, you will just say download.jpg. You will use static slash because it is inside the static folder, but these things really don't work over here. Inside the Flask, whenever you are using the Flask server, you will have to say url for static, file name which is equal to download.jpg. So download.jpg is going to render along with it, right? So these are some of the things you are going to have, okay, with the Flask. And these are pretty much the basics that I wanted to cover. So if you are good with the Flask, you will have your skills brushed up with this thing. If you are new to the Flask, this is the most introductory level tutorial that I have made for you, okay? So in order to learn the Flask, it is good, I would say, and it is pretty much difficult first of all, right? Like whenever you are beginning with the Flask, it seems quite difficult, okay, but it gets really smooth and easy as you progress with it. So it is really good, I would say. So far now you have learned how you can validate the form, how you can take the form, how you can display the images. So these are the basics of the Flask, and the only reason of making this video tutorial was to show you the way with which you can use the Flask, because in my upcoming all of the future tutorials I am going to use Flask a lot with the Firebase, because I have a series right now going on the YouTube, that is the Firebase and Python. So in that I'll be using the Flask all the time, okay? And apart from that, I am also making a lot of Flask tutorials that are linked with the web development. I'll also show you the REST APIs and how to use the APIs using the Flask, how to use the JavaScript with the Flask. So all of these things are going to be covered in the near tutorials. So that is the reason I have made this video. This video is going to be really helpful for you. This is the most introductory level tutorial. If you have came across my Flask playlist, this is going to be a brush up for you. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.